you have like a little tiny waist and I don't. So like when I put on jeans, I can look very boxy, but I like these jeans because like you take them off and they literally look like they have a girl shape.
Well, I think.
So they fake it.
You know what these remind me of? The good old Pepe jeans from the 90s. They give you that nice butt. They're like
nice
a upside down heart kind of situation.
I'm liking the shape
Not
of
that
these.
I've been looking at your butt, but maybe I've been looking
Thank
at your
you.
butt, Kristin.
I'm liking the shape of the.
I am a human being.
Made me put on lipstick. It's so gooey.
I did, because she said, I don't look good in orange. I said, I think you look great in orange, but you just need a brighter color on your
If anyone's noticing, yes, I'm wearing orange again, but this is not the same orange as I wore twice before. I don't know why I keep picking orange. I don't think orange looks good on me, but we're living in this freaking tiny house and I have no clothes, and I found this literally in the corner of I can't see myself wear my clothes anymore. I've maxed them out. You know that thing where minimalist people, they're like, all you need is like 8 t-shirts and 3 pairs of pants. I'm like, yeah, my God, my days are never different.
By the way, are we podcasting right now?
I think we are podcasting.
Okay, then let's podcast, because I wanted to say about that everybody's busy. You guys, I don't even need to say that we're busy.
Yeah.
But our walk-in closet is such a disaster that like if you were a minimalist person, you would be you'd vomit in my closet.
Barfed out.
Because it's sort of like
you find a sandwich.
Well, you know what? I have to go to this thing and I need a black tank top to wear underneath it. So I'm just going to spend $7 at Target and get it, which is like, I hate doing that because it's like,
I know.
It feels like you're wasting money, and that every good deal you've ever found is like out the window because
because you do a fast buy instead of like thinking it through. No, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. Our entire upstairs. Oh man. Let me tell you about our neighborhood right now. So we're still in the renovation, you guys. I know you guys are tired of hearing about it. I'm tired of talking about it. I'm tired of living with my roommates. We're living in this tiny house above our garage, and COVID came through real hard. Got me, got my husband, got my daughter.
Finally got them, everybody.
Everybody got them. Finn got it way before us anyway, but we are all good and healthy. Thank God it's over.
Thank God.
But let me just say, during that time, my husband opted to try to quarantine in our front house, which literally has no electricity or water, but our top 3 bedrooms are still like operational, so to speak. So at any point you walk by our house, there is, first of all, the fence has been torn out, so there's giant holes in the front yard.
Awesome.
There's no grass. Okay. There's 45 dumpsters and a giant, whatever you call it, container for dumpster crap. There's cups and workers' shit everywhere.
They'll just like leave a bottle of piss someplace.
Yes,
won't
they will. They will.
Upset. I'm not exaggerating. I found it.
I'm kind of like, here's what I think about anything. Like when you're sick, this is me, and this is where I get weird. And you know this about me, to be in hotel rooms, and I'm a little bit like type A in a hotel room. In my head, I'm like, yes, I am sick, but I don't need to live in a sick space. No. So I will, no matter how sick I am, like pick up my Kleenex, or I'll organize the medicine so it looks kind of nice, because it makes me think that maybe that part of me doesn't have to feel terrible.
Oh God, of course.
So like,
I don't know
this idea of like, you're renovating a house, but it has to look like a shithole. I don't buy it. Like, clean up your wrappers, man. It's like,
it's different if it's just a new build and nobody's there, but people are there and you wave hi to them in the morning. So don't leave your goddamn
cup. That's like gross to me. So I'm cleaning up everybody's shit. My husband is basically a squatter in our house, and you walk by and it's like, for 1 hour it's pretty hot in there, but it's not terrible. But for 1 hour, old man Sweeney is
there's no
looking out the window without a shirt on.
It is, may I say, it's very Streetcar Named Desire. It's like he is a hairy, there's a little Alec Baldwin vibe from, he's hot, he's got a wife beater on, he's yelling out the window.
He does not have a wife beater on.
He has no shirt on?
He has no shirt on. He is fully all skin from the waist up, and all you see is this poor, like really round Irish head with a bad haircut and an overgrown beard.
The nipples below the window line?
He's nipples below the window line. Which I'm like, you know what? Everyone around us.
It's hard to make eye contact if there's nipples in front of you, for everybody.
Everybody involved. And I said, Colin, we have done what nobody has done. And we have successfully decreased the value of homes in this neighborhood. simply because we
added
live here.
square footage, and
we've become the neighbors that everybody is like, is this ever going to change? And I'm like, I don't know. I think we're like 2 steps from having like a car on blocks in our front yard.
I feel like people don't know you. Their neighbors are walking by and they're like, oh, well, it looks like they were trying to tear this down, but that squatter won't leave. So they're just working around him up in that room.
It's so sad. And he just like has his little hand on his head, or his head on his hand, and he's like sitting there and he waves at me. I go, don't you dare like say hi to people when they walk by. This is too creepy. We started out creepy.
Because pretty soon, Colin, they're going to be like, what's wrong with that guy?
Why is he up in the house? Look, that spot's already taken. We got a weirdo in the neighborhood. I don't want it to be us. We are clearly the hillbillies of the neighborhood. We're like, at this point, the neighbors are like, they give us like the wave of like, is it done yet? I'm like, no.
Let's wrap it up.
You think I'm having a good time?
No.
We're living on top of each other. Like, I've been wearing the same shirt for 8 days in a row. I'm not having fun anymore.
I do
this
like
is no
the
fun.
orange. I especially like it because we are doing a Halloween podcast episode. We might do more. Who knows?
We might do
we
more.
Love, if you don't know us, we love Halloween, both of us.
By the way, I'd like to say our house is fully equipped for Halloween, just in a more authentic space than we thought it was going to be.
Yeah, it looks like there's rubble. There's like
there's trouble.
A haunted dumpster.
There's an old weird man in the top floor.
Yes, they've got trouble.
They're like the neighborhood kids are going to be like,
City.
I've heard there's a ghost in the top of the Sweeney house. I'll be like, yep.
There's a
ghost
chance
of
I could,
COVID past.
There's a chance I could be referencing musicals this entire podcast for some reason because they just keep coming into my head.
What do you mean, like Halloween musicals?
I just said we've got trouble here in River City.
We've got trouble
with a
What's
capital
that one?
C, and that rhymes with B, and that stands for Colin. Sweeney.
Mr. Sweeney. Oh, Sweeney Todd.
I got my cat ears on. I'm not
They're
allowed.
Kind of slutty cat ears. They're
Thank
kind
you.
of slutty cat ears.
You know what? Who knows? Maybe my husband and I will go to
gonna be
some
a
weird
slutty pussy?
neighborhood. Always. No, my husband wishes, doesn't he?
My
just
husband
around our
wishes.
house, nowhere else.
My husband is like whatever costume you're gonna wear, it's gonna be one that's salty, surly, probably mannish.
It's gonna involve a hammer.
Yeah, because he's like, why don't you try going as a woman for Halloween sometime? I'm like, that is not true. I dress as a woman. And then I started unpacking it. And I was like,
yeah. No, what does that mean exactly, Colin?
Well, he says I choose to dress in a masculine nature more often than I choose to dress in a feminine nature. And I say, stay in your lane, sir. Go back to your front room in your weird den. Take off your shirt and hand out candy from there. We'll see how that goes.
That's right, you wacky neighbor. Because it's not the 1920s. Pants are allowed. You're not going to get a ticket.
He wants me to, I think he would love it if I was like, I'm going to go as something real boobalicious this year. I'm not doing that.
No.
How can I hand out candy? We're already those people. I mean, I should just come out. You know what I should do? I should just wear a bikini top and
here's who I think of should wear those costumes and that it's okay for it. Like we have a friend, Bridget, real boobalicious. There's no costume she can get that's not boobalicious. So it's like you be what you want to be for Halloween, and those guys are just going to be there hanging out. And
but those guys, these guys, those guys, the two
and
guys,
and then the other guys like. Your husband hanging out. Colin, you've had enough candy here.
Boobalicious. Everybody's boobalicious at this point. Listen,
I know.
I'm not saying I do like women who like embrace femininity and show cleavage. I got nothing against that. I just think it's weird if I do it. I think I'm weird about it. I don't want to be, because I honestly think my boobs are like one of the best things about me, and I paid for them. Lock, stock, and barrel. But I do like my boobs. I just, in terms of Halloween costume, I'm like, first of all, I can't navigate kids and have those out.
Well, I don't think that's where you're going to do it. This is where I picture you bringing them out for a good time. Is like, you're not going to do the up smash. You're not going to do like a saloon madam. I'm going to do that.
You're going to do that, and you'd be great at that. Boobs and all.
You're going to do like a real low V.
I would do a low V.
And so it's just going to be like a little hint of under boob thing.
But Jen, where am I going to do a low V?
That's what I'm saying. Maybe your husband needs to take you a really nice dinner and you'll do it. Just be like.
Because I'm thinking to myself, I got to have my hands on my hips. I got to monitor candy intake. Am I gonna do side boob with like this posture? Like,
No.
I want to be able to like talk to the kids and bend down and not worry a nipple's making its way out. I don't want to be anybody's conversation later about walking a line of inappropriateness. I do that already at parties.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you wear what you want to. You look good in a 3-piece suit. I say
Thank
do
you.
that again.
I've never felt more sexy than when I dress like I find that very sexy.
Yeah, everybody agrees. That's a whole deal. That's a whole. I think it's like, well, if you think about, well, we didn't know we were getting into this. For
I'm
Halloween,
sorry, but it's a
here's
Halloween
that can of
costume.
worms, which is that I always think like very like universally seen as like attractive men have sort of feminine features like high cheekbones or like very like haunting eyes or something like that, very full lips, which is feminine. And a lot of women who are universally seen as attractive,
have a little masculine thing. Totally. I totally agree with that. And I can go the other way. Like I think Sofia Vergara, we're big Modern Family fiends. We watch it every night. And I'm like, damn, that girl rocks it, like with her heels and the tight dresses and the beautiful hair and God, I wish.
She cannot not do a booby Halloween costume
because she's got such good boobies and like they're big and they're bountiful and God bless you.
I mean, she could be wearing like a scary clown outfit and you're like, well,
no, I know what's underneath
I'm
there.
not looking at your face, Pennywise.
Yeah.
I'm looking at
your
down
other
below.
two clown noses.
Yeah.
Honk, I might. You never know.
I know.
You never
She's
know.
got great legs. Don't wear a clown costume.
I will say and then we'll put this to bed and get into it. But I will say, I was surprised, and that's a nice way for me to say this because my husband tells this story much better than me. My husband tells the story of when we were at my son and daughter's preschool where they happened to be, my son was in kindergarten and my daughter was 3, and they were at the same school for a very short time.
Yeah.
They have a Halloween party and the parents are invited. And my husband said, I just kept waiting for you to get there because I knew once you saw this one mom's costume that you would not be able to hide
the shock and awe.
The shock and awe and judgment of what you were seeing. Granted, this was Jen, 3 p.m.
Preschool.
3 p.m. at a preschool.
Oh, tell me what she's doing.
And I walked in, and my husband is eyeballing me, and I can feel like he's really staring at me. So then I just start tracking, not on purpose, and then I see it.
Don't we all do that? Your husband's looking at you too much. It just means he's trying not to look at something else. Yeah, we all know that feeling, and it's okay.
I'm like, why does he have his eyes locked on me? It means
like when
he
Jupiter
doesn't want me to catch him.
Exactly.
Looking at something else.
It's like when your dog goes into the crate on its own. It's like, I'm going to get in trouble if I stay out.
Yeah, you're like, you shit somewhere. I just don't know where. Yeah, you're already putting yourself in the doghouse.
Good thinking, buddy.
Good thinking. You preempted your trouble.
Keep him right
so
here.
So he's eyeballing me, and I'm like, oh, I know there's boobs somewhere. That guy.
He's got his boob eyes on.
He's got his boob eyes on, and he's got a weird smile and probably a stiffy. And I...
Well, this preschool is. We got to rethink what's going on at this school. If I were one of the other parents, I would talk to that headmaster and be like,
I would talk to that parent. Like, I walked in and I forgot where I was for a second. I was like, are we at an adult party? Are we Burning Man? I didn't know.
In my head, I feel like you're really upset. This is what I picture you do. You walk your husband over with his boner because he's in a Pennywise clown outfit, so it's very obvious. It's very Sofia Vergara. And you're like, look what you did. Look what you did to my husband. This is embarrassing and upsetting for everyone here. And he is just a human being. You can't be honest. And you just make him go in the car. You're like, he's going to miss the cute parade because of you.
He cannot have a boner at this preschool, ma'am. So I did walk in, and there was a hot nurse. And when I say that, I'm saying a lace bralette.
Nope.
With no, it was sheer.
What?
And help me through this. This is about sexy undertops, and I don't know what they are.
Like a bustier.
Bustier, thank you. And then what's the thing? Is that the thing that
corset?
Goes underneath and is tight?
You like corset.
The thing, okay, yeah. But then the booby top would look like a bra, but it was just lace.
What kind of nurse wears that?
And then she had a cape like she was a nurse. I was like, I've been to the hospital. My labor and delivery nurse was basically wearing like chainmail. I am not, this is not. So I go,
I don't trust a nurse unless she's got like a pencil, like one of those like rulers and stuff print on
right,
her.
she's got her lanyard and she
Yeah.
like whips it to the side. Here's what I'm going to tell you. I saw her and I went through so many different emotions because I was like, oh my God, I can see her boobs. Oh my God, I can kind of see her nipples. Oh my God, where are we? Were we at Burning Man? Wait, we're at preschool. What time is it? It's 3? Are we having drinks? No, this is kids. They're doing their, whose parent is that? Why are you wearing that? My husband has a boner. That's exactly what happened in the speed of time. And the whole time my face was showing all of those emotions as what I was trying to pull
She
away
does
from was
not
judgment.
have-
But I'm sorry, lady, I'm just going to judge you. That's like poor showing. Like if you're having an adult party at night, God bless you, but
At
that made
3
things
o'clock in the
3 o'clock in the afternoon.
afternoon.
And she had on those kind of boots that are latexy looking with
Oh.
the bottom part that's real thick. What do you call those?
I think
Sexy boots.
I think she was between shifts, if you know what I mean. I think she
and
was.
you know what? If she was, see, that's why I don't want to judge her, because if she was, then I applaud her for being at this school. But I certainly don't think she was. I think this was a effort.
Have I told you this story? I can't. Well, you guys are podcasting. This is not what
We're
we're going to talk
podcasting,
about.
but
This
it's not.
is
We're going to
crazy.
get into it. We're going to get into it.
So when I was in college, I waited tables, and God forgive whoever in this story I offend, because
We offend everybody, but we never
Yeah.
mean to offend anybody.
people talk, and I always tell them, we've had a whole episode about how I don't like how people say stuff because you can never take it back. Like
Yeah.
you'll always leave like a shadow of doubt in somebody's mind. But
Right.
this really ties into like my hot flash and a whole lot
Great.
of like other things.
Take
that I
it
had,
away.
which is that when I was waiting tables, I wore this flapper outfit during the day, and you know how much I love Halloween. So I had another
And the 20s together.
I led together
Also,
the same
something that
time.
people don't do enough. The 20s, the roaring 20s.
Yes.
Anyway, go ahead.
not
Idea.
anymore. It kind of like
It
went, yeah.
It will come back.
Yes. So I had a flapper costume for during the day. I had the whole thing. I had like an antique purse. I had the antique jewelry. I
Right.
had because that's who I am. And then I had another costume for at night because I was like waiting tables at night and it was going to be busy. So I
Right.
was like, I got to have an outfit with comfy shoes.
Right.
I think I played Sonny Bono. I can't
That's
remember
super
what
funny.
my costume was. But during the day, this woman, she always used to come in and sit on my section on Fridays with this guy. And they always had lunch together on Friday afternoons. Never thought, they always asked for me because I knew exactly what they wanted. They were always super sweet.
I love when you get your regulars, so
I
you just start to
know, like,
love. And
super sweet tippers and stuff. And she said to me, like, this was interesting. It was like a month before, she was like, do you know anything about computers? And I was like, well, I mean, kind of just like,
actually, she does.
I mean, this was so long ago. It was literally like,
You mean my blue Macintosh that sits on my
got
desk?
an
It's
Apple
like-
IIe that weighs
Yeah.
4,000
The one with the
pounds.
floppy
Sure,
disk?
I know my way around. Exactly.
do.
But I thought it was a funny thing to ask, and she was like, oh, because my son needs a computer for school. He's in middle school or whatever. He needs to start, like, if I brought in, like, a Best Buy ad, could you help me pick what would be a good one? And I was, like, flattered and thought it was sweet. I'm like, why on
It
earth
also
would
makes you
ever
feel
ask
loved.
me?
You're
Yeah.
like, it just makes you feel like you live on a planet that cares about you. When you're a server and somebody's super kind to you and makes it a little bit personal,
Yeah.
it just is really
it's sorta
nice.
like, and I also got the sense too, you wait on people and you're like, they like me, but they're not here to chat. They're
In
here to
here,
chat with
one
each
out
other,
the other.
and
Yeah.
whatever. This is,
but
the,
it is
like,
nice when they're like, care about you.
I know that remember you and think you're more than just the person that like refills their coffee or whatever. And so she said, she goes, I love your costume. I love it so much. And I go, well, do you want to borrow it? Because are you going out tonight? I go, I have
So
another.
typical Jen.
I go, I have another one that I'm going to wear tonight. I'll just leave it in a bag at the end of my shift, and then you can come pick it up and you can wear it. You know,
So nice.
So I left it up at the front, and I told my boss, I was like, that woman that comes in, she's going to come pick it up. So will you grab it out from underneath the thing to give to her? And he goes, you're loaning that costume to her? I go, yeah. He goes, I don't think you want it back or something really mean like that. And I go, what do you mean? And he
I already
was
don't like him.
yeah, that's some issue. What?
Sorry.
Are you
I know.
shocked that your manager
Right,
of the bar you worked at in
yeah.
college might have had some
Problems
stuff going on?
Not as
yeah, it's not.
kind as he could be, and now I'm thinking about it, and that was a really dumb thing to say.
Yeah, and he goes, you know what she's going to do in that costume? I go, have a great Halloween. I don't know. He goes, you know what she does, right? You know she meets with that guy every Friday. She's a
Prostitute.
yeah, and I go, I don't believe you. I don't think that that's true. I have conversations with her about because I don't know in my head, I was so young, I don't know what I thought
We
the
thought
life
that
of-
was, man, because we grew up with like Hunter. So we thought that like any sex worker was like
a drug
you're
addled,
like on the side of the road with a cigarette. And like, you know what? I think when you get a little bit older and you look at life and you think how hard things are and you have kids, there's not a woman on planet Earth that's like, if times got tough and my kids were hungry, that I wouldn't do that for money. That's how I feel about it.
Exactly what happened because my mom happened to call me, who is not known for like shedding like a really bright light in the right direction on things.
But can surprise you.
She really does. And in this instance, because I felt like I'd kind of done something wrong because my boss was kind of laughing at me like I was naive and I didn't know.
Thing seedy, and I don't think he should have said anything like that. And he's being judgmental, so screw that guy.
On so many levels, he was so wrong on so many levels. And
I'm sure he hit on you at one point too. See what I mean?
I felt wrong, and I didn't know what I was wrong about until my mom called that day, probably to ask like what I was going to do for Halloween. And I was really young, you guys, and I said, I did this thing, and I feel kind of
weird
silly
about
it. And I told her the story, and she goes, I cannot believe you. And for a split second, I thought she was going to say, you're really naive, you're really dumb or whatever. She goes, you don't know her. You don't know why she does what she does.
Right.
And you have no right to judge her. And I did not raise you. She goes, if I needed to do that to feed you kids, I would do that. She goes, you don't know if she has kids or not. I go, oh yeah, she does. I got chills thinking about it. I go, she does have kids. And I was like, I mean, it really like flipped a switch in my brain where I was like, you keep your mouth shut about. And also, what are we judging people like that for anyway?
Right. Listen, all that being said, I still judge the lady at the preschool because I knew that it was expensive to go.
That's right. You know that you're going to be around
other
whole
children,
bunch of kids, and you know Kristen's husband's going to get a boner.
My husband gets a boner if a slight breeze that's nice to him breeze. That's why he's sitting in the window. He's just an old man with a boner in the window of our really nice neighborhood, you guys. But bravo for you for giving that costume. And you know what?
I hope that woman's doing okay. Times. Yeah, I think she is.
All right, let's get into it. This is our Halloween episode. This is our podcast. Hey, if you don't rate and review and subscribe, will you please, and say nice things because that's how we keep this ship afloat.
That's right.
And it's a big operation of a team of two women and husbands. What's your problem?
You guys, Casey
is no longer with us.
Well, she's alive.
She's
alive,
weird.
but she's moved on to
greener pastures.
Younger pastures. I don't know.
Does that mean if you say somebody moved on to greener pastures, does that mean they died?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think it means that
Casey quit.
I think what that means is she gets asked to buy jumbo tampons a lot less.
A lot less. So but you don't know what her situation
She's
is.
got great things. Be on the lookout for Casey. She's doing some really
She's
cool
doing great
stuff.
things. We're happy her little wings are spreading and flying, and that's not weird. She's going to be dressing as a nurse. I'm just kidding. That's not true. We love Casey. She's no longer working with IMOMSOHARD, but she's our dear friend and we love her.
So if we forgot to record this, turn the sound on, look really weird, we're going to throw her right under the bus
and say that it was her, and she's sitting right there because she's not.
But
okay.
Part of the problem is I have all this stuff printed out that I wanted to tell you. I've been back pocketing this as a hot flash for so long, and I can't find the exact one, so it's in here somewhere. I just have a million pieces of paper that I want to share.
You guys, this is what happens when somebody who's really tech savvy leaves us because we're like, where's my notebook? Yeah. You guys know I sent my notes on carry a pigeon.
I put this on a piece of parchment.
You guys, I
put
it on a scroll.
I wrote it in calligraphy.
And where's my quill?
We meant to tell like spooky stories.
Yes,
but then all these ones that I kept finding, I was like, wait, is this about smashing the patriarchy, you guys? It's not. Kristin already rolled her eyes at me.
Not that I'm not rolling my eyes at smashing the patriarchy. I'm just like, whenever somebody starts a conversation like that, I'm like, where's the dip?
Yeah.
Like, where can I go to the keg?
You know what?
I'll talk about.
Listen, I don't disagree with you.
But here's the other thing. I also don't want to talk about Pinterest because I hate that too. I'm not really sure what, I don't know what people talk about that I do like.
Okay. Well, I saw this. It happened in September.
Okay.
And
Is this our hot flash?
This is a hot flash. This is
Okay,
going
we're
out to this
starting
lady.
it with the hot flash.
Start with the hot flash, you guys.
Hot flash, hot flash. Hot flash.
Vampire Grave shows 17th century fear of women who, quote unquote, didn't fit in.
Awesome.
Okay. So they unearthed this body that was buried in 17th century Poland, accused of being a vampire. We know, we don't know who she was. Maybe a lot of people accused
I
of being
have
witches.
very large incisors.
You're
and-
Polish, a little bit Polish, aren't you?
Yeah,
You're Czech.
Eastern-
It's really
yeah,
close.
yeah.
Okay, so this is how they found the body, and this is pretty creepy, but also pretty awesome. When I go into some of these other ones that I found, okay, a sharp sickle was placed across her neck, ready to decapitate her should she jolt awake after death. And a padlock was placed around her big toe. It locked her to her coffin. Okay, the unnamed...
Wait, she wasn't dead in there?
Well, that's the thing. They put her in there when she probably was not dead yet because they weren't into doing nice things. They weren't into doing nice things.
It's just the history of man. It's like, how can you make this thing worse? It's so gross.
In lieu of reading books, we're going to fear monsters.
We're going to fear
Yeah,
monsters.
Exactly. But
Jesus.
there's this, okay, so this is what they used to think, you guys. And this is how so many of our like Halloween traditions and like spooky stuff, the chains and everything came into be. Okay, ways to protect against the return of the dead include cutting off the hand, the head or legs, placing the deceased face down to bite them into the ground. They would burn them or they would smash them with a stone. So, okay, in this case, the woman, there was a site, like a gardening, or like a farming
tool.
thing. Yeah.
So she woke up and she was like,
Yeah.
if you were like pretending like you were
If she-
falling in your dream and you woke up, you'd be dead.
Yeah, her head
The
would be
irony.
cut off. I know, exactly. But so they used to like put these big rocks and boulders, but so they couldn't come out of the ground. But all I say is, yeah, you fear a powerful woman. Like,
Right. They're doing all these things. They're like, she's so powerful, she's going to come back from like flatlining.
this is how they.
Also, it freaks me out thinking about being buried face down.
I know, that's so horrible. That's
Eh,
everybody's nightmare, right?
Also, because I'm Catholic, all I can think is everybody would be going to my wake and I'd be like face down in a casket and it would be like ass end up.
Yeah, I don't want that.
I don't want that. What I want is a lot of work after the fact. So everyone's like, she's never looked better.
Prop me up in the right places.
Prop me up in the right places.
You just
pull
do,
my
like-
neck back.
You bring in somebody who does like did all the makeup on like
Like Avatar.
exactly.
You get me in there and I want you to pull shit back. I want them to be like, did she lose 10 pounds?
exactly.
If you lay me in there and I look like I've like sleeping with drool on coming out of my mouth, I'm gonna be so pissed.
Absolutely. I know. That's what I'm saying. They also thought that, so historians now believe that this kind of thing was done to quote unquote witches, but I got more to say about that later because they think it could have been because her gender, a physical deformity, a social anomaly that was considered immoral, not a supernatural explanation. But I kind of like to think that bitch had a supernatural
Vagina?
maybe. Well, but that's what
What
they
are you
used to
saying?
think.
You said like read it again. It said
Well-
she had a deformity.
So
there was something that she
they think
presented
she-
with that was
yeah,
different. She had a
or-
social thing.
I'll tell you what the other one was. This woman that they found buried as a witch. She was like tortured. Okay.
God.
So this is what
Let that be a lesson to you women. Like
you wanna
there's
talk
fear
ab-
because
You want to talk about scary? That's what we do to each other. It's not like
God.
That's what I'm saying is if you got to go through the torture of being that death of being a witch, I hope to God you were a witch so you can come back and
I
get a
hope
little
you
bit of
reign
revenge.
supreme on those assholes.
So they found this one body that's 1,600 years old. It was unearthed. She was fixed with her left hand behind her back so that she couldn't get out. But that's what they used to. That I don't know. That used to like isn't everybody right-handed? Maybe left-handed. Maybe they're just like, she's left-handed, so she's probably a
My
witch.
husband is left-handed, and his mother was like, work your right hand. Like, it's just like, they're like, I do say they're touched by the devil a little bit, but that's just my...
So her body, she was only 25. Her body showed evidence of having been tortured by the village people at only 25.
Oh my God, I wonder what the rumors were or what her affect was that people were like, she's a witch.
I'm going to tell you.
Ooh.
Most women accused of witchcraft tended to be older, yet occasionally young women found themselves accused of witchcraft, usually if they ended up in relationships with the wrong man or even if they had been sexually abused by a man of influence. So the men would say they had been bewitched by this
her
woman and that they couldn't control themselves. So they blame her. So I hope she comes back in a very strong way to his house.
I hope she buggers them in their sleep. I
right?
hope she, right?
Right?
I hope every night they're like, ooh, what? Like, I don't, the idea that like we always, it's such a longer conversation, but that we blame the woman, it's just. Always. And women blame women. Like we do that because I don't know, there's something deeply internal in us that's like, we can't shine the light on the person at fault. And I don't know what that is, but I want to help her. I don't want any of us put into a casket.
No, we got it. We got to work together.
Back.
Here's another song for this. Sisters, sisters, there were never such devoted sisters. So
that's a really fun movie, and
I know that's a good one.
I'm gonna add on to your witch story because.
You guys, I'm obsessed with witches. And
Me too.
I really get upset when people say that they're evil. I'm like,
well,
I
do think they are a little bit evil.
Well, I do have one.
I'm
that's
sorry,
really,
Wizard of Oz ruined me. I'm never gonna ever.
Hello, but let's not forget that the guy that wrote Wizard of Oz was also a genocidal maniac that called for the systematic extermination of the Lakota Sioux back in his day. He was a newspaper publisher, so everything's a little infused with evil. You want to talk about a witch? That guy.
There we go. You just really, that
Sorry,
made a lot of. Okay.
How many boners are there out there?
My husband's. Are you dressed like a nurse? Okay.
He does like history, though.
He does like history. Okay, so if you're from a small town or even a big city, but because I have a couple examples. Because I like witches too, and I always wonder, especially if you listen to like true crime or historical true crime, whenever witches are hunted or like whatever it was, I believe, this is me being woo-woo, I believe when you get women together and they're choosing to be in agreement, it's like the play The Bacchae. Have you ever heard of The Bacchae?
Yeah.
The Bacchae is a Greek tragedy where I actually don't remember the beginning of it, but a son is murdered. And so the women get together and they are in a circle. And because of their energy as women and mothers, like they're able to like conjure another thing that kills the person that killed the boy.
Ooh.
So like has always been in history this power of women in numbers, which I just sort of dig. Obviously, like first of all, nobody likes a team more than me. And like
it's what we do, man.
You get a group of women together and it's really, come see our live show. It's really fun.
Yeah, you'll see.
But when I was growing up in Central City, there was this rumor that there was this witch's graveyard, and it's not a rumor, it's real, in Aurora, Nebraska, which is a town next to us, who we played in volleyball, and we won. Go Huskies, what's up, Bison? They were the Huskies. And here's what I appreciate. There is a website called Nebraska Haunted Houses, and just the way that this caption is worded, I'm like, God bless you. I can tell you're from Nebraska, just the way you word something. All right. So
how is it worded?
I'm going to read it.
Oh, okay. Also, there's probably a Husker logo somewhere on there.
Yeah, there is.
Too.
100%. It says link to tickets here. Okay, it says, the witch's grave is an ancient, isolated grave in our Aurora City cemetery that has a mossy tombstone and a protruding marker said to be a warning to deter others from witchcraft. Stories say that the witch, she was an eccentric, which was enough to make people of the town think she was a witch and blame her for the bad things that happened. Eventually, they hanged her for her crime of oddness. Other reports say that the woman who was buried here was completely normal and was not at all a witch.
Probably.
And simply died of an illness. And her name was Sarah, and she was buried with her 7-month-old daughter, Mary. Which is I know, but that's like, every story that you've read or that we've read about witches, there's always this conversation about they're like an oddness.
Maybe-
People who are not neurotypical seemed odd, and theirs seemed touched. I mean, people who were ever born with Down syndrome or born special needs or
Yeah.
anything were seen with a deficit. But what's so different is that with witches in particular, or women who were said to be witches, there was something different about them, but they were not foreseeably different in the way they looked, which is
yes.
an interesting thing to think about. Like, I'm always like, what was the town witch like? This woman was so famous, and it wasn't even in our town. She was a town over. That there was a witch's graveyard for her, and it was her and her daughter. So you wonder if she was eccentric, or listen, if you're going down for being odd, I'm next up. There should be like a whole town outside.
Trust me.
Right.
Say that
You and
all
I
the
are
time.
done.
When my son was reading The Witches, like 3rd grade was that? And he said, he was asking questions about it. And look, you know me, I love to go off on this subject. And I was like, people like to call women specifically like a witch or strange if they're not like following the norms. Most of them were like midwives. Guess what they were doing? Encroaching on the town doctor's business, book learning stuff that they weren't supposed to. I would have been called a witch because Miss Sweeney and I, we work, we say things that we shouldn't,
I would say I'm bewitching. Oh, no, wait, I'm just bitching.
I've said that.
Yeah. It's different.
Yeah, it's spelled differently.
I think they would just say, like, she's the town eccentric, meaning we don't want to deal with her. So we put her out in a weird old house out in the middle of nowhere, which would be fine by me. And honestly, like, I know there's witches today, the Wiccan and all that crap. I don't ever want to burn anybody at the stake, but I will hard eye roll. Like, if you tell me to like light a candle and say something and
Well, okay, but also I'm going to probably eye roll if you you show up to your kid's preschool in a really provocative quote unquote nurse outfit. You do that 200 years ago and people are going to be like, she bewitched my husband. He's just hanging out in his Pennywise costume, Boner Town. All of a sudden, he can't be held responsible for that. Burn her.
Yeah, it's her fault. I'm not going to burn her. I'd like to think that we're evolved. At this point, I'll think to myself, sir, have some self-control. Yes, she's dressed as a nurse.
I have one last one, but I felt like this was really interesting because it you can't just throw men under the bus for this witch thing because us girls were in on it too. That's, because here's what happened. This was
Making notes to myself.
Virginia Beach, near Virginia Beach, okay? There's a place called Pungo. I might say it wrong. Punjo? I don't know. Pungo.
In Virginia Beach? It's called
Well,
that?
it's Virginia.
Okay.
And there's a story, there's a famous story called The Witch of Pungo, okay? But so there was this woman named Susan. Okay, no, that's her parents. Okay. There was this couple, they had a daughter named Grace who was described as precocious and self-possessed, which, you can't do that back then. You can't do that in the 1600s. They're like, she's born a witch.
Yeah. You got to be careful with those labels early on in the 1600s. You got to come out with something else.
Okay. She also had the horrible fault of growing up to be remarkable in appearance and personality. She's too big.
Oh, God.
She's too beautiful.
She's too beautiful.
She's very threatening to us.
Oh, God.
She was given a lot of land.
Well, that's a big deal.
Yeah, when her husband died, she had sons. She did this like crazy thing back then, which is decide to farm the land herself with her sons.
How dare she?
Yeah, she was uninterested in high society, didn't want anything to do with it. She's quote unquote dressed more like a man. Yes, right. She wore a three-piece suit like the Joker on Halloween. No, that I added that.
I did that,
but you did that, right?
Yeah, I feel very related to this woman.
This woman was resented not only for being different. She used her feminine intuition. She was also
You mean she listened to her gut?
Uh-huh. Yeah. Used her intelligence, I think is what that's saying. Yeah. Adored by the young and the elderly. Notably respected as a modest and intelligent
Why
individual.
did they call her a witch? I don't understand. She sounds awesome.
Because the women got jealous.
Oh.
She was So they accused her of being a murderer.
Oh, man.
Of being a transmogrifier, like changing shape. They accused her of black magic and spreading plagues. Because she learned how, she read all these botany books and she learned how to like make medicines and stuff like that for her cattle. And they would
She
work
sounds
on,
awesome. You know what
she's
happened?
Amazing.
And this has happened to me.
They
She went.
killed her.
She killed her?
They killed her. Yes. So that's why I'm saying if she
This
was
is
a
a
witch,
good lesson to me because if I go to a party and I whip out my dance moves, that separates me, and there we go. I've elevated to a point where everybody gets jealous, and I'm gonna get murdered.
That's how society taught you: dress
Feminine,
be like everybody else. Don't do your own thing because you're going to be seen as a witch if you
and they'll
do.
kill you, and there's no fallout.
No. What?
Just so everybody remembers,
You could murder. You could
murder a woman, and no one would care.
You could be like, whoops.
By the way, that wasn't that long ago. It was
wasn't.
only in 1975 when rape was considered more than a misdemeanor. Just to put everybody in
so
a row.
upsetting.
I know. Just so everybody knows, like women were like, "Ah, man, we don't like her. Let's just let's kill her. Don't kill any of her sons because then that would be a problem because they're dudes. But let's just
Wait,
kill
what
her."
did they do in the scenario?
No, I'm saying anything. If
anything,
you didn't like
yeah.
somebody back in the 1600s, you could just off them. And if it was
yeah.
a woman, it was not a that was the first option. They were like, let's not have a talking to. Let's just kill her.
Oh, it's literally was like, my wife talked too much, so
I
I
killed her. I put her in the back into the hole in the back, and now I'm going to get a new wife.
Yep, I'm going to get one that's 14
Yep,
and marry
and that
her,
would-
and that's totally
Fine,
acceptable.
because she bewitched me because she was breathing air.
That slide come hill
the
a stair.
stair.
I'm just trying to work them in there wherever I
okay.
can, you guys. I'm
Here,
sorry.
I'm going to take a different direction on the old scary stuff because you're going to like this. All right. So the thing that I can't understand, but I know people get really into it, but literally terrifies me. And also, I am not one to mess with the dark arts. I don't like I am not, my kids would tell you I'm superstitious. Do you think I'm superstitious?
I think that you very much are, but you don't like to admit it.
That's absolutely true. This is like literally hitting my nipple every time I go over here. Sorry.
Well, I
put
would
my
say
boob
my
on.
husband's the same way. He won't talk about it, and it's not because he thinks it's BS. It's because he thinks it's like you're invoking something.
Exactly. I'm like, don't tempt fate. Like, I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to do it. I'm not like, I don't like Ouija boards and tarot cards, not because I like fully believe in them, because I fully don't believe in them, but I don't not believe in them. You know what I mean? I'm like, my luck would be the first time that this Ouija board worked, and a frickin' dark art guy would come through and like kill me, and then I'd be ass up in a casket. I'm not doing that.
Well,
so,
but it's hard to think that Parker Brothers is going to make, Monopoly and then also make something that can conjure dark lords. But you know what?
I don't want to do
want
it.
to be wrong.
I don't want to be wrong. So when it comes to haunted places, I don't want to go because I don't want to see a haunted thing. I don't want to go.
It's so funny. I want to go.
No. And I know that I can't remember the name of it, but we did stay in 2 really famous
San Diego,
hotels.
right?
One was in, Riverside, and one was in
San Antonio.
San Antonio. Both were supposed to be very famously haunted.
3. Because we stayed in that one in Rhode Island, too.
In Rhode Island.
Providence.
Oh,
yeah.
that's right. That one was really cool. Here's me. I know they're haunted. Everybody talks. Jen is my best friend. We were together all the time. I knew everything about these hotels. This is me. I go in and I'm like, maybe you're here. Maybe you're not. I appreciate you letting me borrow your space. I've paid full for it. I would just really like to be left alone. I'm going to take a nap, and I apologize if I make any noises.
I think that's probably all you need to do.
That's what I do. That's how I clear the air with
like,
every hotel room.
I can tell by these sweat shorts that she's got on that this woman is not
She's
motivated
literally.
to come
We're
by
gonna
a
have to check and
message
see if she's alive at some point. Have you joined our forces?
She's very much like Whoopi Goldberg from the movie Ghost, where she's like, I can't be bothered with you. I just ordered a burger from room service.
And I don't want to think you're watching me eat it because I'm gonna have zero manners the whole time.
Yeah. Get back.
Okay. So now,
Back into the wall.
yeah, give it. Just please leave. If you're watching me change my clothes, and it does anything for you. That's going to make me feel better about myself.
Don't look at me weird and don't go.
Yeah, don't woo. Oh, don't go like this.
Woo.
It'd be like woo, not like oh, like both.
That doesn't feel good for anybody.
I don't need a fucking judgmental ghost.
Get out of here.
Okay, so there is a place it's first of all, automatically I'm not staying here. The place is called a House of Death. I'm not staying there.
That's not a
it's
great
a hotel.
name for a hotel.
It is a name of
But,
a hotel.
for
House
a
of
certain
Death.
clientele, it's not bad.
22 This is in Greenwich, New York, by the way. And here's what I think about it. I'm like, Greenwich, New York, that's expensive.
Yeah.
And would I ever buy a place that they had disclosed that 22 people have died in this one unit?
Well, I think the wrong part of New York, you're going to find that a lot, probably.
Right. But it also had a 6-year-old girl who was murdered by her adopted father. And that's who haunts that place.
That girl?
Thank you. This is supposed to
I
be
don't
stuff.
blame you, girl. Yeah.
This is supposed to be stuff that makes people want to stay there. And I have literally been like, and crossing. I might cross off Greenwich.
Well, there is that really great place that's in the village that we went. Did
Yep.
you come? Yeah, called Shipwreck Mary's.
Yep,
That's
yep.
There's like there's a skeleton playing piano, and the most remarkable thing to it is that there is a bathroom that is about 2 foot by 2 foot with a toilet and a tiny sink in there that has not been cleaned since it was created in like the 1800s. That is one of the scariest parts. But you sort of get a feeling that there's something weird in there, right?
It feels cold in there. It freaks me out. I don't want to do any of that.
But so I got, last time that we traveled for our live shows, we still have some in Chicago, Detroit, and South Bend, Indiana coming in.
Yes,
So get your
that's
tickets.
it.
That's it, you guys. You got to get them. But so we were traveling, and I got this special Halloween edition of like Newsweek or whatever, and it was like the most haunted places in the world. And one of them is this like castle hotel in Banff, Canada. And we got those Icon ski passes where you can like, it's like having a timeshare for ski lodges where you can go and like ski there. I told Britt I
I'm
wanted
not paying
to go
top dollar to have someone else stay in my room with me.
Yeah, but
I'm not going to a haunted hotel. No way.
it's never been
I don't-
confirmed. But everybody who stays there, especially in specific, they actually have closed off certain rooms which I'm like, you might be making it more creepy because nobody would ask a question if it was just a room in the hallway. But what they actually did was like just seal off the door, and
And it makes everybody want to know what's in there.
yeah, and that makes them want to stay there too. So I want to stay there. My husband said
No.
no. Yeah.
That's the thing, because it would be my luck. Like, no one's ever had a real sighting, and I show up, and I'm in a room, and some weird colonial soldier decides he wants to have a conversation in my room, and all of a sudden now I'm a vessel for all of these assholes that have, no, I can't do it. I don't want to do it.
I think the tricky thing is maybe you had that real of an experience. You could bring in a TV news crew to film the whole thing, and people would still be like, yeah, that's bullshit.
Yeah, the colonial soldier could be sitting next to me, and people would be like, I don't think it's real.
Yeah, no, that's missing a. He wouldn't have that tab. Those were made years later.
Right? Why can you see through him? Oh, he's standing in front of a mirror. I'm not doing it. I don't want to have to explain myself. I don't want to have to look at anything. It freaks me out. I just don't. I would never stay at a place because it's haunted. I would leave a place.
Well, if you did have a conversation with a colonial soldier, they'd be like, "She's a witch."
Yeah, they'd be
yeah.
great. Then
Yeah.
they'd kill me.
It's like, I did nothing. All I did, I overpaid for this hotel room, and
You know what? I
wanted
ran
it
a
myself.
business.
I couldn't help
nope,
it.
Here
Yeah.
we go. And I paid on points. So now I'm like super smart. And now people are going to kill me because I'm a witch because I got colonial soldier here knocking down my door.
Yeah.
And I'm already unhappy about this
That's
situation.
upsetting. I know. Well, we did. Our friend Renee that was traveling with us, our first,
Yeah, she's a real hippy dippy.
she is, but both of us.
I'm going to get in trouble for saying that, I'm sure. She's
Well,
like, what do you call it?
me
Like,
a hippy dippy
yeah,
to my
you
face.
all-
Should I be upset? I just think you're describing my personality.
You guys are all like, bring out the rocks. What do you call them? Gems?
We aren't as sure about things we can't see. That's what I would
am.
say.
And I'm pretty sure about the things I can't see. I don't want to see any of it.
We had similar instances. Hers was very clear. She actually, so this hotel in Providence, Rhode Island,
That was a pretty cool place. You could
she
tell it was historical.
She heard someone in her room when there was nobody in there. I was getting ready, and this was before I knew that there was anything like creepy about it. I was expecting my husband and kids to come in later from the pool. So I was getting ready in the bathroom and I heard the door. I heard somebody come in the door. So it was like in two parts where the beds were over here and then we had a big, huge slumber party there for the kids the next night. So there was like a big living room. But I went into the living room. I was like, hey, to see the kids. Nobody's there, you guys.
I'm out. I'm going to the Hilton.
That's why I didn't tell her until after we left. And
Yeah.
Renee said same thing. She goes, I heard a girl's voice. She's like, I talked back to the voice and then she was like, it struck me. And see, now I have chills. But it happened there. And Kristin, remember, we were at that hotel in Riverside and I kept spilling my Diet Coke when I ordered room service. It was weird. I spilled it like 5 times. Now, like once or twice, I'd had nothing to drink besides that Diet Coke. But I could not get this Diet Coke to stand upright. And that's kind of weird, right?
I mean, depends. Like if you got shaky hands or something. I don't know why that happens. I don't like any of this. I don't like traveling in my brain right now. I will tell you that at that hotel, when I got in there, I was like, okay, if any hotel we've ever been in is actually haunted, I think it's probably
one. Yeah.
this one. And I remember being in there and being like, come on, man, just go to somebody else's room, please. Like, I'm not the one to be messed with. I got a show tonight. I'm already, like, I poop 25 times before I go out before any show. I don't need a ghost being here.
Yeah, if this isn't going to clear you out of the room, I don't know what will, buddy. It's lady.
He's like,
I think it was
I'm
a
going to
lady.
another room. I've been in this room for 125 years. I'm out.
I mean, the hotel was absolutely beautiful. It was
Beautiful.
like historic. But I really did, from the second I walked in, I was like, wait, who's in here? My high school, college roommate or something? It just felt like there was somebody in there with you. And I always sleep with a little bit of white noise. And this was my way of either trying to stay awake or speed death upon me. Was I turned up the white noise so loud so that I could sleep.
That's the dumbest thing.
Because
oh
I
my
thought
God, it's like you're writing your own horror movie.
I was
You're
like,
dead.
Every
Done.
noise I hear is going to wake me up. And I was trying to be logical.
as he's murdering you.
Well, I was trying to be logical. I didn't think the ghost would murder me because that's a pretty clear sign that, that there's a ghost in there. I wasn't having anything that clear. I was just having some weird feelings and dropping my Diet Coke a little bit. But if they're going to be bebopping around the room at night because you made them leave because you shat in there too many times, Kristin, and they crossed the hall into my room, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it.
I sent the ghost to you because I'm like, you deal with it. I'm not doing this.
Yep, out. Jen likes this shit.
Jen likes it.
Out.
Go talk to her.
She'll
I'm not into
appreciate it.
this.
She likes the good stories.
I am not going to listen to your shit. I'm sorry that life in your afterlife is terrible, but life in my life right now ain't going great. My husband keeps sitting in the window without a shirt on. Can you?
I got 99 problems and
And
the ghost ain't one.
I think we just podcasted. Wait,
I think we did.
Wait, we got to do a mom box, right?
Oh, yeah.
You know what? I do have one. So I loved this mom box so much because I think, oh shoot. You know what? Maybe I'm not going to say her name. I'm not going to say her name.
Okay.
But,
She'll know who she is.
wait, maybe, do I say her name? Do you think that makes everybody feel good when you say their name?
I think they like it, but
Okay.
unless it's too personal,
No.
let's not, because then people
No.
will be scared to send us personal
No,
stuff.
it's not too personal. I think she's so lovely. And I think she's writing a very nice message that made me feel like, oh, this is so sweet. I got her. Okay. This is from, I love her name, Kimberly Nakapua, which makes me think she's from Hawaii.
Oh, see, now I think you shouldn't say her whole last name.
Oh,
I
shit.
think you should just go Kimberly N.
Well, okay, but she's on Instagram. Fine. Kimberly N, even though she has a super cool Polynesian last name.
Well, you really switched it up. You want to give her Soch while you're at it? 'Cause
Yeah,
at first you're like, I won't give
Her
her anything
address
too
is she
personal.
lives
Yeah.
in this town. Okay, Kimberly.
Okay.
Cool Polynesian last name that I'm not supposed to say.
Okay.
Okay. She says, I started listening to your podcast just over a year ago. I was driving home one day and I was listening to you and I was laughing so hard that I was crying. I pulled into my driveway and as I was trying to put myself back together, my husband ran out to the car to see what was wrong. He thought I was crying for real.
Oh my God.
Life has been hard and I've been struggling with everything that it's been throwing at me. And I don't have many girlfriends. So my husband bought us tickets to your show in Detroit and we're both so excited to see you on our night out. And I'm so thankful for all that you do. I know this kind of sounds a little like self-serving. It's so nice.
They're so nice, you guys, when we get them.
But what I love, first of all, I love that she's like crying in
I
her
love-
car and her
she's-
husband thinks she's crying, but she's laughing. That makes me feel so good.
There's no better compliment than that.
And it is hard. I do think it's hard to make new girlfriends. Or
Totally.
if you move to a town and like, or your friendships shift, or like, again, when you leave a preschool, you go to a different school, you have to make new friends. Like, I get it.
The way to not do it is
Don't
to
dress
wear
like a
see-through
nurse.
Well, I mean, yeah. You move into town, you're eccentric.
Yeah.
You know, you're not neurotypical like we
Yeah.
all are. And like, they're going to call you witch.
Yeah,
It's
be
scary.
careful with that. But I do say we're so grateful that you're going to come to the show. We're grateful you're bringing your husband. We're going to make you laugh. And by the end of that night, you're going to walk out with 1,500 new girlfriends. So that's how
That's true.
gonna
That's
work
how
out.
the shows roll.
It's the Buckeye. Our shows are the Buckeye.
Yes.
Listen,
Ooh.
if we can all hang out together and start our periods at the same time, you think that we can't change the world? That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, all we
you
gotta
think we
do
can't,
is-
You think we can't put our powers together and go in and literally change how the world works?
We're just
we can.
too busy taking care of everybody else. You know?
That's 100% true. Because women are very powerful. We just don't always know it. And that's all I'm going to say about that, because I don't want to get burned at the stake. What's up?
Well, I think now we podcasted.
Now we did
Happy
podcast.
Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Happy sweater weather.